Hey there, Sank, everybody. Welcome back for another amazing show. Today in the Marhaba Crypto Show, we have myself and Moby. We're going to be discussing some amazing topics. But before I get started, Moby, how's it going? How's the weather in Australia? What are you up to these days?
It's good, man. It's good. We had Father's Day today, so happy Father's Day to. And I don't know, is Father's Day the same day globally? I feel like everyone has different dates,
No.
but it's different, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
different.
has to be different. It has to, that makes sense because it's on like a Saturday or Sunday. So we had it today. We had a lovely day, but honestly, I don't know if people realize, but let it not be said that Ahmed doesn't try to make it on this show. We try to do this week in, week out for you guys, and Ahmed is in the middle of some Pakistani shop, using their internet. Just to make this episode. So, thank you so much to you for making this happen and making this work. But yeah, man, excited for another great show today.
All right, guys. So for today, we got the market update, which Moby every week gives us some phenomenal insights. We got the Marhaba update, and then we also have Insight of the Week. And we got a phenomenal one more segment today is that what's mine and Moby's top five cryptos that we're investing in. So this is something that you guys don't want to miss out. So you have to watch till the ending to get all that information. Cat Moby, take it away. What's the market update?
Awesome. Let's get straight into it. So last week we got a lot of feedback. I got a lot of questions about the Raccoon Secret Society NFT I bought. I got a couple of messages. We got a few comments about that. So what I thought I'd do, and shout out to a good friend of mine who actually brought this to my attention today. He knows who he is. But he brought to my attention. So this is another project I'm looking at, right? So not financial advice, do your own research, that whole thing, but something that's on my watch list right now that I thought I'd share with you guys. So this one is called Sneaky Vampire Syndicate. It is an NFT that has not been launched yet. Similar to a lot of NFTs you guys have seen before, profile pics, 2D, 3D type of JPEGs. Now, this one is interesting to me for a couple of reasons. One, it is done by one of the artists who worked on the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Now, unless you've been, sort of living under a rock, that is one of the hottest NFTs in the space. It has a floor price of 35 ETH. And recently, one was auctioned for $2.25 million on Sotheby's auctions, right? So, again, it's one of those things, right? Like, why do people use people for endorsements? Because they're popular for something else. So, for that reason, the fact that the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Bored Ape Yacht Club, try saying that 5 times really fast. The fact that that artist is involved, and a couple of other things too. They've got 17,000 Discord members already, and it hasn't officially launched, and 7,000 followers on Twitter. And finally, and this is one of the things I look at, right? Like, sure, it's an NFT, and some NFTs, like we said last week, they don't make any logical sense and they work well. But is there some sort of utility or something of value for that NFT? So, for example, in this case, there will also be a 2D game released. So you'll only be able to play that game if you have an NFT character. So, I'll move off this one, but really quickly, the mint price for this is going to be 0.08 ETH, so just over $300 or so per I guess vamp or vampire, whatever they call it. But again, do your own research.
Mhm.
Do not come after me if you say this is not Sharia compliant. It is what it is. I'm not I'm not endorsing it from a Sharia compliant way. But yeah, what about you, Ahmed? Have you done any sort of NFT research since we last spoke?
Yeah, I remember. I'm actually, you know what the funny thing is, I'm actually watching your section of last week to get a better understanding of how you jumped in and all that stuff. I have a lot of conceptual understanding of what NFTs are and how to invest in it, but no physical experience of buying it. I've tried, but I think at the last time I stopped just before buying it. But I think you make those minor mistakes in life that you're gonna kind of regret. Like why didn't I buy it at that time? Because it would have been probably worth twice as much now. Cat, it's Alhamdulillah. You make those mistakes and you learn from them. So I'm gonna probably be trying to jump in this upcoming week in my free time.
Awesome. I mean, it's one of those things, right? Even if you don't sort of make it, or you missed a mint or whatever, I'd like to think you held your Ethereum. I'd like to think you sort of, because there's a bit of an opportunity cost here. Do I keep my Ethereum, or do I sort of, go and mint an NFT or buy an NFT? So speaking of Ethereum, what a week Ethereum has had. So Ethereum the space of a week, let me have a look here. In the space of a week, it's gone up about 24%, right? Since we last sort of had our last episode, it's gone up about 24% in the space of a week. Now, this is one of those things, right? It's kind of like a balance between, do I FOMO into something, or do I jump in at the right time? So one thing I can actually say, let me see if I can zoom into this a little bit more for you guys. So this is just on the 1-day chart. What we found for a little while, that Ethereum was hovering between this 2,900 and 3,200 range here, right? So if you can see where my sort of mouse is on my screen, 29 to 3,200. And it was there for a couple of weeks. Now, this is one of those things, and I'm not a technical analyst, expert or anything like that. The more a price bumps between a range, the more it hits a particular range or a particular ceiling or resistance, the more likely it is to break that, either towards the upside or towards the downside. Now, from a fundamental point of view, the fact that Ethereum is looking very strong right now. So fundamentals, what do I mean by that? For those who are new to crypto, I'm talking about what's happening in the real world. What's the big picture? What's happening with the team? What's happening with the adoption? The stuff I'm sharing with you now that I'm looking at charts and stuff, that's technical analysis, right? So you never really unless you're a trader, of course, should use technical analysis to drive your investment decisions. If you're a value investor like I am, if you're not trading these things every single day, sure, if you can use some technical analysis to back your fundamental hypotheses, then all for it. But you shouldn't just look at technical analysis, unless you're a trader, right? So Ethereum's sort of at that level now where it's kind of broken that 3,200. It's gone way beyond that. Like I said, 25% in the last 7 days. It's pretty phenomenal. And honestly, I don't see any resistance until 47.50. So until it hits 47.50, which means it will be hitting all-time high. Again, not financial advice. Don't sort of FOMO in, but it's one of those things. The fundamentals are really strong. We can't see any resistance until 47.50. It's not the worst thing to buy from a long-term perspective. Your thoughts, Ahmed?
No, I totally agree with you. It's that low, peak and trough moment right now, and we're in between where I feel like it's still like you can still capitalize on a little bit. It's not a lot more; it's just a little bit more. But I think it's enough that could make a change, right? So, but you know what? I'm gonna start thinking about how I'm gonna be taking profit in between this, and that's what we're gonna talk about next, also. So, inshallah, in that I'll talk a little bit more about Ethereum and me taking profit and stuff like that.
Awesome. And guys, definitely tune in. We've been saying this for the last few weeks. Buy on red, buy on dips, buy on dips. You're not going to get a lot of dips with Ethereum the way it's looking right now. So, get in when you can, right? So you don't FOMO in on the way up. Okay, so moving on to, I guess, Bitcoin. But before I kind of get into Bitcoin, just talking about some, I guess, contextual stuff, I guess, fundamental analysis, if you will. So Bitcoin's hit $50,000, right? It's doing quite strong right now. That's a very strong level. It seems to be, we did dip below 50,000, a couple of weeks ago when that happened, but right now it's looking quite well. Now, what's happening in America right now? What's happening in the world's biggest, economy? Well, Joe Biden recently, it was really recently announced that he's going to have the opportunity to approve members of the Fed, right? The Federal Reserve. So either appoint those people or approve whoever's been put forward. Now, what they're looking at doing now is because printing, printing in the States right now, it's something that is quite common practice, and what they're calling it is a monetary policy that is known as outcome-driven monetary policy. This is the policy that they're looking to adopt. So, what is outcome-driven monetary policy? Well, it's just a fancy way of saying that they're not scared of spending. They're looking to spend more, and spending is just going to go up in probably two areas: social justice, inequality, medicine, education, things like that, and environmental. So green, lowering greenhouse gases and that sort of thing. Now, why do we care, right? This is a crypto channel. Why do we give a damn? Well, what we do know is last time the Fed printed $6 trillion in March 2020, crypto exploded, right? This was last year, 2020. Crypto just went gangbusters. This time around, they're pitched to spend at least 3 times as much as they did then. And when you consider that, Biden isn't having a good time right now, you've got coronavirus, you've got the Afghanistan troubles that they're having right now. Obviously, they kind of botched that whole thing. There is a lot of pressure on them, so they're very happy to spend and let the rest of the generations pay for it. So that's Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin was designed to do well in these scenarios. Bitcoin is one of the only hedges that you have against inflation. So that's why a lot of analysts are very, very bullish on Bitcoin hitting 100K minimum, if not 200K by the end of this bull run. So a great hedge. It's not the place where you put your money in to get rich or to make 20, 30, 40, 50%, or maybe 50% increases, but you're not looking at Bitcoin for those 2, 3, 4, 5x's. But nonetheless, from a fundamental point of view, Bitcoin is still very strong. Your thoughts, Ahmed?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. As for another few years, Bitcoin and Ethereum, in my personal opinion, are gonna hold the crown. So, for sure, hold them, buy them, and keep them in your portfolio as one of the anchors.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want to move on to Solana, right? So Solana, my new favorite coin, the one. Honestly, guys, not hate to say I told you so, but if you had got in the first time I mentioned it on the show, you probably would have 2x or 3x by now. But honestly, Solana's probably it's not necessarily a bad time to buy Solana right now. It's dipping a little bit. It's gone down 3.5% or so. Now from like we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, that Solana is emerging as the new darling of the institutional market. And that's because it's been able to do almost everything Ethereum can on a smaller scale. So do I think Ethereum is going to get killed? No, of course not. Ethereum is not going away anywhere. Ethereum is in your town, Ahmed, I'm sure, anyone who lives in Sydney knows of Parramatta Road, right? Everyone has that very busy, long, congested road that you have to take, right? Because you have to take it. It's popular. That's Ethereum. So what these Solanas and all these other layer 2 solutions are, they're those side roads that are being built. They're those tunnels that help you facilitate going from A to B. But that main busy road, that's not going away anywhere. So from Solana's point of view, the fundamentals are still looking really, really strong. I have personally been taking some profits in Solana here and there, but to be honest, I'm not going to now. I'm going to keep my rest as long-term holdings because I do see it as a hedge for Ethereum. Ethereum is still going to go up slowly, but there is going to be a lot of leakage from Ethereum to platforms like Solana. That's something that I see is a pretty common bet. Nonetheless, another piece of very bullish news from Solana this week: Solana-based cross-chain exchange Saber raises 7.7 million to expand teams and tokens. So Saber is a cross-chain liquidity network. So what you can do there is swap tokens, and you can also become a liquidity provider and earn yield. Now, this sounds really boring if you haven't heard of this stuff before. But guys, this is very bullish if you're a Solana fan. It's essentially like, a Uniswap or a Curve. Probably a Curve is a better example of what this is. So it's their version of Curve where you can actually swap tokens and you don't have to go through a centralized exchange like Binance. But you can also add liquidity. You can provide your own tokens as liquidity and earn yield on them. So this is really, really bullish for Solana, and the fact that people are taking this seriously enough and are investing enough to make this a version of Ethereum is really, really bullish indeed. So a final piece of bullish news for Solana fans, and I guess also Audius fans, is Audius is launching a Solana NFT integration. So Audius it's kind of like a decentralized Spotify or SoundCloud, and what they're actually doing is allowing you to, I guess, flex or show off your Solana NFTs in almost a little bit of a gallery. So the fact that you have these decentralized networks working together, is really bullish and, great for Solana and to be honest, great for Audius fans as well. Now, jumping straight to Twitter, right? So Twitter is allowing users to add their Bitcoin and Ethereum addresses to profiles as per some leaked screenshots. So what this is, what they're testing right now, and I guess this is not really confirmed. This is something that someone retrospectively was able to see from, I guess, Twitter's, I don't know, beta testing or whatever you want to call it, is soon you'll be able to tip people on, allegedly tip people on Twitter with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, if you consider Twitter, how big Twitter is, and the fact that almost any user you can now just send Bitcoin and Ethereum, is just more fuel to the fire that these things are not going away anywhere. You're not going to lose your money on this. The idea is, what's your time horizon? So really, really bullish stuff. In other news that I guess is showcasing the ability to, I guess, interact with crypto in a more user-friendly way. Ahmed recently, told me a story where someone he knows sent, I think, $12,000 worth of tokens to the wrong, $12,000 worth of funds to the wrong address, right? Stuff that makes you just cringe and feel really, really bad for the person. So, of course, as you know, an address is a series of numbers and letters, 0x45, whatever. If you get any of that wrong, you're going to lose your funds forever. There's no return, there's no refund. But what's happening now is actually you're going to be able to create a domain. So you could have, ahmedjawa.bitcoin, ahmedjawa.ethereum, and you'll be able to send crypto. I've got an example here on my screen, mobisadiq.crypto, just via, it's like an email address. Before the internet actually came out, before www.hotmail.com and google.com, you had a series of numbers and letters. So this is bullish for the space and shows us more integration, more user friendliness, which is holding a lot of people back. So exciting stuff, Ahmed. What do you think?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like anybody who in the development space knows that the crypto and the blockchain world is something that's phenomenal. It's going to help improve our user experience and also privacy and all that stuff. So as I see this progressing, like you said, before .com, there's letters and numbers, and now we're at .com. Just like that, we're going to see, the world of crypto progress, and hopefully we're going to see a lot more day-to-day usability in about a few years. And that's when people will really start understanding why crypto is such a base. Like, for example, here, while I'm in Pakistan, I have cousins and stuff, and they all are like, no, it's just going to go, it's just a fad. Crypto is not really a thing. But I'm like, you guys don't understand from a development perspective. I work with developers, I've talked to them, and it's in their opinion, it's a phenomenal thing for privacy, for the future, for development itself. So, Kat, it's an exciting future for sure.
Absolutely. Now, my final piece of news, Ahmed's favorite crypto, Ripple, right? Now, if you guys know my views on Ripple and XRP, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't think it's a long-term value investor play. I think it's a maybe short-term flip. It doesn't take me any pleasure to share this particular story. The judge ordered Ripple to hand over 1 million Slack messages to the SEC. So the US magistrate ordered Ripple to produce 1 million Slack messages amongst employees that the Securities and Exchange Commission has sought to access. Now, the thing that I find is the most damning about this story is that the SEC contended that Ripple's failure to produce these messages was highly prejudicial, given that those messages that the SEC had showed the remaining ones would be highly relevant. So the messages that they did share and said, and this is the thing, right? This is just XRP like 101. This is typical XRP. They said, oh, look, guys, we've been able to show these messages, but we've lost a bunch of other messages. Guys, like if you've ever used Slack, if you've ever used anything, it's not, like you have to go out of your way to lose messages, right? Like you really have to go out of your way to somehow corrupt those messages. That is not a simple exercise. So firstly, that is dodgy, right? And if you don't mind investing with someone like that, all power to you. Secondly, they're saying that the ones we can see shows the ones you have hidden are really dodgy. And we need to see those. Now, does this mean XRP is going to fall over? No. If I had to place a bet, if I was forced, I would say that, honestly, Ahmed, this is probably one of those where they're reaching a settlement and they're just trying to make the strongest argument and the strongest case to have the best settlement. So I think XRP is going to be around, and once it's settled, it will probably, go up and up and up. But again, that whole value investor question, this is why, proof to the pudding that I believe it's not a value investor play. But that's the end of the market update. Your thoughts, your final thoughts on that, Ahmed, before we move on.
I took those several jabs very kindly. So about XRP, Kat, I agree with you in a lot of things when it comes to XRP. It's not a long term hold really. For me, it's the same thing. It's not a long term hold. It's more of a trading thing, and I
At this
think you
point,
gain a little
Ahmed,
bit.
at this point, you're better off selling your XRP and buying some vampires, man. You know what I mean? Like, like vampires don't seem like a great investment, but honestly, those two together, not financial advice.
See, see, there's a lot of other uh, crypto enthusiasts that would say that this was a biased opinion of XRP, and they have a difference of opinion. Yeah, we will keep going back and forth, and this podcast will not end if we focus on XRP. We should do maybe one segment on XRP in the upcoming few weeks. Cat, let's just do the Marhaba update. So guys, there's a lot of exciting news that's happening with Marhaba. There's a lot of advancements and growth. So be ready for this. So the white paper has been launched. We will put that in the description below. You guys can check it out, read it. It's a very very professionally written document and a very well detailed document. We got the tech team on there. We got the business and the strategy team on there also. So you guys really want to be checking it out and seeing what really Marhaba is about. So check that out. The Sharia paper, or in my humble opinion, I like to call it the Sharia White Book, is also done. It's going to be launching very soon. I got the confirmation recently, and so we're just going to be launching it in a few weeks. Just the minor little touches are needed. Glean winners have gotten their rewards. If there's anybody out there who forgot to give us their wallet address, because I know there is a few, do send us your wallet address. We'll send you the awards. And this sticker contest going on, guys. I don't know if you guys checked out, but our CEO's stickers were phenomenal. Moby, I sent you a few.
Oh man,
How'd you
you
like
told
them?
me you told me that those like because we've got to get these up somehow, right? Maybe I can get those edited into this
You have to.
podcast.
You
Yeah,
have
so you guys can see. So yeah, you can see right now how hilarious they are. There's one of Nagib, like he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's lifting those gains. And I remember you saying, "Oh, don't share these yet, don't share these yet." And then like a day or two later, somehow they just got out, and there's like 8 of them
Yeah,
now. So it's
our
freaking
marketing
hilarious.
team couldn't hold it back anymore. Our marketing team couldn't hold it back anymore. They just had to do it. We were having the best time internally, and I mean, this is one of the beauties of the team that and the project itself is that we have a very supportive team. Everybody loves to work with one another, and there's just, I mean, we have our ups and downs, but there's a lot of excitement and happiness in the team. So there's that beauty also. Kat, next thing, seed funding is completed. We've raised our funds. There's going to be news coming out in regards to that too. Round two funding is starting up very soon. There's going to be some information on that too, and you guys can check out that information on our social media or our Telegram. Even our social medias are growing really quickly, so there's a lot of progress and growth in regards to that, and some excitement from that. The next news is huge. We have secured Shisha Finance, and we have also secured some great partnerships. So, guys, there's a lot of big
Wow.
things that are done. You guys got to really check them out. Last thing is we have signed with the CCA, which is the Climate Control for Climate Crypto Authority, where we are also committing that we will do everything it takes to make sure Marhaba stays green and does everything in the green, environmentalist light. So those were kind of the Marhaba updates, and you know what? I'm gonna jump right to the community question of the week, which is our top 5 investments. Moby, is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just have to say that I'm loving your background right now, man. I love it. You just look like you're like a humble Pakistani shopkeeper. You know what I mean? Just taking time out of his day to do a crypto podcast. I'm loving
That's
it,
it.
man. But all good. Let's get straight into it.
Yeah, you'd be shocked, like because everybody here is like a community. It's a small community. Everybody knows one another. And so when I told my uncle that I need a good place to do the recording, he's like, "I got you. There's a shop, and there's you know they
They
got good
probably
internet, so
think you're a
we'll just go there."
celebrity. They probably think you're just some, awesome YouTuber or something.
They think you're the awesome YouTuber. They just think this guy, he comes here all the time. He buys some
Astaghfirullah.
chips and
Not at all.
stuff. So not a big deal. But you're the celebrity. After this video, I'm gonna make sure that these guys also check out your podcast and our stuff. And I'll also maybe show them my YouTube channel. Okay,
All good.
so back to the point, guys. Okay, so for both of us, our top five crypto investments, and so we are gonna literally tell you guys what we're investing in, our top five, and potentially how much we're investing in. So, Moby, you want to get started?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this because you and I actually didn't talk about this before we've done it. So I think this is going to be news to you and me. Well, some of them anyway. So the first one, no
Yeah.
surprises, Ethereum. Guys, I'm not a, even though, you sometimes see me share charts and whatnot. Again, I use technical analysis to, justify fundamental analysis. I don't like to take that many huge risks. So Ethereum is my biggest play. I feel like it is honestly, Raoul Paul called it the best trade of the century in terms of its low risk. You know it's going to go up. You know it's not going away anywhere. You know there's actually a fundamental benefit. You have smart contracts on this thing, for God's sake. So that's probably 85% of my holding right now. My next one is Cardano. So Cardano, I guess in the start, before Solana came onto my radar, Cardano was kind of like my insurance policy against Ethereum. If that kind of takes off, I really like their what do they call it? Their theoretical approach to things. So, love Cardano. It's my second biggest holding. Then Solana, right? Solana, again, for the reasons I mentioned, I feel like these guys are on it. They're that good balance between a really great platform, very fast, low fees, because fees are honestly, it's at that point right now. I know if there was two NFT projects going on and one was on Solana and one was on Ethereum, I would just go to save, off gas fees and go to the Solana one, to be honest. My next one, so that was three so far. My fourth one is Flow. My fourth biggest holding is Flow. And Flow is also, and funnily enough, like it seems like maybe I'm FOMOing into NFT world. It is definitely not the case. This is one I probably purchased back in March. And these guys are the guys behind CryptoKitties and also NBA Top Shots. So up until recently, NBA Top Shots was the biggest performing NFT, I guess, marketplace there is. And you can get a LeBron James NFT on NBA Top Shots for like $1 million, like $2 million. So everything NBA touches from a marketing point of view does really, really well. And Flow is definitely part of that. There was talks that the UFC, and I'm a huge UFC fan, that the UFC is going to launch on Flow. But that news has been around for over a year. So I'm getting a little bit worried about that deployment.
That's the crypto world.
That's the crypto world. It's probably a Dana White thing and less a Flow thing, because Flow is proven.
Yeah.
And my final one is Matic. So like, what is correlated to the Ethereum rise, right? Like, so when Ethereum goes up, what else goes up? If Ethereum is a good bet, what ship follows that ship? And a Matic is an answer to that. So in maths and in finance, I guess they have, correlations, right? So a one correlation. So one, if one thing goes up, how much correlated is that to something else? A one is a perfect correlation. So I just wrote this down in preparation. So Matic has a 0.87 correlation with Ethereum. And I went back and had a look at this, and the last Ethereum run before our dip in May, 11 days later, after that rally, Matic went up as well. And the guys behind Matic, the guys, they're an Indian team. Very, very smart bunch of guys. And I recently watched an interview with their CEO, and they asked him, look, what are you guys going to do when Ethereum 2.0 comes out? And he's like, that is very bullish for us. Ethereum is a hot property. It's in a lot of demand right now. So it's, even though proof of stake is going to come and the gas fees are going to reduce, Ethereum is always going to be busy. And kind of like the analogy I mentioned earlier, you've got your main road in your town, in your city that everyone hates to go on, but they have to use, and you have these tunnels and side streets. I see
Yeah.
Cardano, Solana, and Matic, all part of it. And the final thing I'll say on Matic is that, I'm a marketer, right? So I understand the power of niching and specializing. Matic is specializing and niching only with Ethereum. Like, they're not like these other,
Yeah.
ZK rollups and all these other layer 2 solutions. They are focused on just Ethereum, and they don't have a competitor in that space. So the fact that
As of now.
they're wagon, yeah, as of now, but honestly, they have a huge field behind them, right?
Yeah.
They're too well ahead for someone to catch up as a
Yeah.
layer two solution on Ethereum anyway. But that's my sort of
I
top
agree.
five, and they're the reasons why. What say you, Ahmed? How's yours different? Maybe go from the top.
Yeah, no, no, I agree with you with pretty much the whole thing. I have a little bit of all of that stuff too, except Flow. I haven't. I was told about Flow a long time ago. I just never got a chance to check it out. But the rest I have, and few of them are my top five. So, Ethereum, I agree with you, my man. Just
Is that your
you are
number one? So
way
go from number one. Is that your number one?
is that's my number one. Yes,
Yep.
that's my biggest in my direct portfolio because like I have a few different portfolios, but in my direct portfolio, like as a whole, Ethereum is number one. I have it open right here. Like so, I'm just looking it off of uh, my screenshot I took when I could log in here in Pakistan. It's a little bit difficult to log in because of the two-step verification for me because my number is Canadian, but then I have to log into here. So I have the screenshot. So Ethereum is number one. Same reasons as yourself. It is really the one that started a lot of the initial development stages of crypto, and people are using it. It's a hot commodity, and as crypto starts being used for development and using between corporations and stuff, it's just gonna keep growing. My next one actually is Cardano. That's in that mindset that Ethereum is good, but Ethereum is not the greatest. What like for example, Bitcoin is the most strongest, but it's not the most like in my humble opinion, the usability of it is so the utility of it is very low. And the same thing
Agree.
with Ethereum is amazing. You can do a lot on it, but there's a lot more that could be done on Cardano, on H bar and stuff like that. So my number two is Cardano. I want to be honest, so I'm going to tell you my number three holding is XRP, but
Oh, shame.
I'm following the news, and I think listen, listen. There's a part of me that's a big part of me that's a trader. I came from the forex. Before I knew it was impermissible and all that stuff. I was in the forex world, so that's like a lot of day trading, week trading, swing trading. So I love risk, man. I love risk. It just gets me
Oh,
going.
you're in
It
crypto.
get
It's part of the process.
yeah, yeah. Like for me, it's just an excitement thing, right? Half the time when I'm investing with these things. So, Care, that's that. But we'll take XRP out of there just to make you
No,
happy.
you can leave
The
it in,
next
man.
thing,
It's not a problem. You can leave it in. So Ethereum, Cardano, XRP. Go. Continue.
VeChain, VET, phenomenal when it comes to logistics and stuff like that. I mean, it's similar to a few other tokens out there, but VeChain is running the majority of the logistics side of the crypto side. So, which is exciting, man. I when I was looking into it, what it could do, like for example, you'll see food, but you wouldn't know everything where your food has touched. But through crypto, there could be a development advancement to the point that the apple that you're holding, you can scan the barcode on it, and you can know exactly who touched it, where it was, and how it got to your hand. So that's phenomenal, and all that could be done under the privacy and the development of VET. So I'm looking really. It's a long term hold, right? The next thing, like yourself, is Matic. Matic, my friend, is you already given the little spiel on it. I agree with you 100% on Matic. I'm just gonna add a few more. Just H bars are also another one, and then Luna recently
Oh,
because of the jump, because of the jump, is it just came up
Luna was
like in
my
my
equal fifth, but I had to bump one of them off the list. But Luna was my close. It's a close sixth. But yeah, yeah. Tell me why you like
yeah.
Luna.
Luna, like one reason is just the way you explained it, like the protocol itself is phenomenal. It's going to be used for global payment systems and stuff like that. I mean, so is XRP being used for global payment systems, but hey, everybody's got their own ways of going around it.
Luna
What's your
XRP.
I
Luna XRP.
Yeah, I mean, for the short run, I'm going to do XRP and XLM. But in the long run, for sure, it's gonna be something like Luna because, it's the development, it's the quality of the development.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, for those who don't know Luna very well, to be honest, it's something that only came on my radar about a month or two ago. It's a blockchain protocol that use fiat-based pegged stablecoins, like Ahmed's talking about. So, I really like them because everything you said, they've got really good partnerships. I think they came out of Asia, so they have a lot of South Korean partnerships as well, and they're so you got the banking partnerships, but also the partnerships from an investor point of view, like staking. Oh, amazing, right? So like they partnered with Lido Finance. The staking awards are really, really high. Again, I'm a marketer, so I look for user experience. And before I actually invested in this, I downloaded the Terra Station wallet. I didn't want to move anything into it. I didn't have enough to move into it, but I downloaded the Terra Station wallet, which is their answer to MetaMask. I used it like just to played around with it, and I love it. I think it's one of those things. I feel like a lot of these cryptos take turns on that roundabout, and Solana's having its day. And I feel like Luna's going to have its day too, because I spoke earlier about ranges, right? When you have a very good protocol, it sits in this range, and the longer it sits in that range, the more likely it is going to break out. And if the fundamentals are good and the market is good, it's likely going to break out into the positive. So I feel like Luna still needs to have its day in this bull run for sure.
Yeah, it hasn't had the same time that the others have had when it comes to global payment systems. I think with the right time and with the right deliverables on their roadmap, I think they'll be in par with the others like XRP and stuff. Kat, any last comments? Any last things that you want to say before we end the show off, movie, my man?
No, no, this is an amazing show. I mean, I'd love to have you there every week. Where you are right now. It's very, I don't know. It's just a different vibe for me. So how much for how much for a packet of chai? By the way, just behind you there.
Yeah, this one's 20 rupees and this
Yeah,
one's 30 rupees.
yeah, nice, nice.
I'll send it to you in Australia. I'll send it to you in
Yeah, nice,
Australia.
nice, nice one. Awesome, awesome, great show. I think a lot to cover, and I think a lot of really fundamental things in the market right now. We spoke about NFTs. We gave our sort of picks on tokens. We gave our picks on NFTs as well. Some projects coming out there. So please get the word out. We're really loving seeing some of the more comments coming out. A lot more followers. Follow the Telegram group as well. Like, comment, subscribe, and just one thing that's coming up on the channel soon is if you're part of the Telegram group, you'll see there is a lot of AMAs that happen. Ahmed takes a lot of AMAs himself. He does a phenomenal job, and we're going to start doing some of these on YouTube now as well. So we're going to get all the muftis we have access to, all the management team behind Marhaba. We're going to get them onto the show as well. But yeah, just watch this space, and happy gains until the next week.
Fantastic. Well, guys, we come out here every week, try to give you guys a good show, informative, fun, and all that stuff. So please share, like, subscribe. You guys have to hit the bell notification icon. Also, check us out on the other social medias. I think it's very important. See the progress. Join this community. Join this family. Because as we grow, you'll grow with us, and it'll be a phenomenal journey. Thank you guys once again for coming out for the show. As always, take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.